Welcome. Rebecca Nyandeng speak. Rebecca Nyandeng is not a stranger to South Sudan's liberation story. She's the widow of the late Dr. John Garang Damabir, one of the most important figure in the country liberation struggle. She is also currently a vice president in the government. Because of her position and her story, her word attracted attention. Speaking during the funeral, Nyandeng expressed deep disappointment about the direction South Sudan has taken. She stated that South Sudanese people are done things to themselves that their enemies are not done to them. There is a very powerful statement. Think about it. South Sudan fought for many years to become an independent country. Thousands of people lost their life, families were separated, communities were displaced. People spend years living in difficult conditions because they believe independence would bring a better future. When independence finally came in 2011, many people expected a new beginning. They expected peace, better service, better road. They expected job. They expected a school and hospital. They expected their children to grow up in a peaceful country. But more than a decade later, many of these problems remained, and that is why Rebecca Nyandeng's word carried so much emotion. She said, people who fought for liberation now talk through the street of South Sudan with their head down. For her, this is a painful picture. The people who once carried the dream of independence are now watching the country struggle with political problems, economic hardship, insecurity, and division. One of the strongest questions raised by Rebecca Nyandeng was about leadership and accountability. She remembered the period when Dr. John Garang Damabir was leading the Sudan People Liberation Movement. According to her, people such as Deng Alor, Elijah Malok, Kosti, Manibe, and others were around the leadership. They were watching, they were asking questions, they were providing service. They were advising John Garang Damabir that time. They were part of a political environment where senior people could challenge one another. Then Rebecca Nyandeng asked a question that has attracted attention. Who is watching President Salva Kiir Mayadi today? This question goes directly to the issue of accountability in the country. A government cannot work properly if nobody is willing to tell leaders when something is going wrong. Leaders need people around them who can tell them the truth. Not only people who agree with everything they say. Not only people who praise them. Not only people who want position. A country needs people who can say, my president or Mr. President, this decision is not good. This policy is hurting ordinary people. This needs to change. People are suffering. Please listen. That is what Rebecca Nyandeng appeared to be asking for. She was raising a broader concern about the ability of senior leaders to communicate with one another and with the president. Nyandeng also spoke about her own experience. She said there were times when she could go for as long as 2 years without meeting President Salva Kiir Mayadi. This is a serious claim because she is not an ordinary government official. She is a vice president. If vice president said it can be difficult to meet the president, many people will naturally ask, what about ordinary citizens? What about young people? What about church leaders? What about civil society? What about people living far away from home or from Juba? What about people who have complained about government services? How can their voice reach the highest level of government? These questions are important because leadership is not only about holding a position. Leadership is also about listening. A president cannot personally meet every citizen. That is impossible. But there must be systems that allow citizens, communities, churches, political groups, and other leaders to communicate their consent. When those channels become weak, people can feel ignored. And when people feel ignored for a long time, frustration can grow. Nyandeng did not only speak about political leaders. She also turned her attention to young South Sudanese. Her message was tough. She criticized young people for being afraid to speak the truth. She asked it a simple question: who will fight for you if you refuse to speak for yourself? This is an important message, by the way, for young people. South Sudan has a very young population. Young people will eventually become the country leaders tomorrow. They will become teachers, doctors, engineers, journalists, business owners, farmers, government officials, community leaders, and politicians. But leadership requires courage. If young people are afraid to ask questions, corruption and poor leadership can continue. If young people are afraid to discuss problems, those problems can become bigger. If young people are afraid to demand better services, leaders might not feel pressure to improve those services. However, speaking out does not mean violence. It does not mean insulting people. It does not mean attacking others. It means being brave enough to ask questions. It means telling the truth peacefully. It means using your voice responsibly. It means saying we deserve better. Our communities deserve better. Our country deserves better. One of the most powerful ideas in Rebecca Nyandeng's speech was her statement that truth is stronger than a gun. That message deserves attention. South Sudan has experienced many years of army conflict. Guns have been used to solve political disagreement. People have died because leaders and communities failed to solve differences peacefully. But gun cannot build a school. Gun cannot create jobs. Gun cannot feed a hungry family. Gun cannot repair a hospital. Gun cannot create national unity. Gun cannot build trust. A peaceful voice can sometimes achieve more than violence. That is why the idea of speaking the truth is important. A citizen does not need a gun to demand accountability. A journalist does not need a gun to ask questions. Young people does not need a gun to demand opportunities. A cheerleader does not need a gun to disagree with another. A politician does not need a gun to disagree with another. A cheerleader does not need a gun to call for peace. There are peaceful ways to challenge bad decisions. There are peaceful ways to demand change. There are peaceful ways to defend the future of a country. Nyandeng also questioned the importance of government titles. She said some people feel proud when they are called Your Excellency. But she asked, what are you doing with that title? The question is simple, but it goes deep. A government position should not only be about a name, it should be about responsibility. Being a minister should mean serving people. Being a government should mean serving people. Being a vice president or being a governor or being a president or being vice president should mean serving people. Being a president should mean serving people, and title cannot feed a hunger child. A title cannot treat a sick person. A title cannot educate a student. A title cannot create employment. A title becomes meaningful when it's produced something good for the people. This is an important lesson for every public official. People may respect your position today, but what will they remember? What will they remember about your service tomorrow? Will they remember the road you have built, the school you supported, the hospital you improved, the job you created, the peace you helped bring? Or will they only remember the title you carried? Nyandeng also talked about the government privileges. He said traveling with security, vehicles, and siren is not the most important thing. A siren may clear the road, a convoy may make a leader arrive quickly, security officer may protect an official, but none of these things automatically mean ordinary people are doing well. A leader can travel with 10 vehicles while citizens are struggling to find food. A minister can have security around them while young people have no job. A senior official can travel abroad while patients are struggling to find medicine in the country. This is why public office must be measured by result. The real question should not be, how big is your convoy? The question should be, what have you done for the people? Despite her criticism, Nyandeng did not tell South Sudanese people to give up. In fact, she gave a message of hope. She reminded people that South Sudan is rich in natural resources. The country has oil, it has a large area of land, it has water resources, it has forests and other natural resources. Most importantly, it has people. It has young people with energy, ideas, and skills. The problem is not simply whether South Sudan has resources. The bigger question is how those resources are managed, how they are used, who benefit from them. Do ordinary citizens benefit? Are resources being invested in school, hospital, road, agriculture, business, job? These are questions that matter. Natural resources alone cannot make a country successful. Good leadership, a strong institution, peace, accountability, and responsible management are also necessary. Well, after the funeral activities in Juba, Custom remain were prepared for transportation to Lui in some areas in western Equatorial State. Nyandeng said the body would go to that small part of South Sudan, but she made an important point. She said it was only the body that was living. The spirit and legacy of Kosti Manebe will remain in South Sudan. That is how many people think about those who serve their country. A person eventually dies, but their work remains, their word remains, their decision remains, their mistake remains, their achievement remains, and their lesson remains. For young generation, the life of Kosti Manebe can therefore be seen as part of South Sudan political story. His death is not only a family loss, it is also a moment for the country to look back at its history and ask where it came from and where it is going. Well, if you are new to Changfied YouTube channel, I would like you to be channel by subscribing, turn on the notification bell so whenever we upload a new video, you can be notified. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.